please, can we get some volume? Check 1, 2. Okay, so they should be able to hear me now. Steven, how can I get your voice on here? We're, we're, we're gonna have to learn how to use. There's this thing called Discord. I'm not quite familiar with it. Um, you know what I'm talking about? Hmm. Okay. Can you guys hear me now? Why can't we get your sound? That's what I don't understand. You coming in? I just need to figure out what source. Okay, so that is the source. New Media 2 device. You can kind of hear me breaking up a lot. Okay. Let's try something else here. Okay, how's that? Now they can hear me. Brian says breaking up a lot. Hmm. Yeah, no, they are helping. Might They definitely can't hear you. Wait a minute. Okay, what if I play if they hear the game sound, they should be able to hear you. But they can't hear the game sound. I don't see any. Yeah, the game sound's definitely not registering. Can you hear it on your end? All right, well, Steven, you should just you should just tell us all exactly what was going on here in this game and where we were. Since they can't hear anything. It's like I might have to just carry this show myself and you hang out with me and they'll hear what I'm saying. But at least when I talk to you, at least be somewhat more engaging. Why don't we, you know what I mean? Like, cause I don't think I can figure out the sound situation. Oh, we got airplane mode over there. Do you remember that? Oh, the airplane thing came from. You're saying the airplane mode came from. We did airplane mode for when Courtney, Adam, and I were sitting on, I think the 13s and 14s benches. We would anytime someone got an ace, then we would do airplane mode. Um. Okay, master volume, app volume preferences. I wonder if this would make a difference. I could have totally just messed everything up. I have no idea. Check 1, 2. No, they can still hear me. You can hear me now. Oh my god, that whole time you couldn't hear me? Oh man. Thanks, Adam. But still no game sound and still can't hear Steven. Steven, remember last week when we did this and it took an hour and 10 minutes to make it work? And then tonight it was working, yeah. And then tonight it didn't want to work. That's a bummer. I'm sorry, guys. I'm thinking, you know, it probably is not going to work so well if it's a conversation. Because, you know, Steven, as I'm talking and I ask you a question and I listen to your response, like the people watching the stream can't hear anything. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm almost wondering if you should just type and comment in the chat. But that's a lot of typing. Yeah. But this was last week. I remember we were just kind of talking about like how the team had gone through so many injuries. You know, it was like, when were you ever 100% healthy? And then even like once you got to JOs, you still weren't at full strength because some of the players couldn't go. I'll relay it. Yeah. Oh, huge block. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I do remember that. Hey, there's one other thing I can try, and that's maybe to switch this headset to PC mode. I'm sure that didn't do anything. To everybody watching, I appreciate you guys hanging out. We're watching our 2018 match with the NPJ 16 national team out of Salem, who had qualified in 16 Open. Coach Steven Stone is with us here on Zoom call. However, we understand that you guys cannot hear him, which is unfortunate, but he was the head coach for that team. And actually, it was Steven's first year coaching with us, so it was really cool. And Steven, did you say this was like your first time head coaching a team? I'm at NPJ. Was it a first time coaching a ones team? Yes. Okay. So beginner's luck, right? Obviously. No, but last week I was gonna say last week I remember you saying that you know, you made a comment like, oh, this is easy, right? And it's funny because we all know how difficult it is to qualify, especially to qualify in the top division. I should fast forward this part. Yeah, you're saying the athletes. Yeah, I mean, probably more important than anything is to have the high quality athletes who work hard, who find ways to work well together. Last week you had mentioned something about the speed of your offense, and if you want to comment on that now, I'll do the best that I can to share what you're saying with the people who are watching, because that last go was really fast for a 16s team. Come on. That's fast. Oh, okay. So you gotta. She's okay. So you're saying that well, one of the outside hitters had like one speed that she went at, so it was kind of like you need to get the ball there because that's when the hitter's gonna be there. It's like running a middle, right? That's uh huh. So you're saying that other coaches who'd worked with her also tried to slow the tempo down, and it just kind of Haley wanted to go fast. I mean, hey, if you're not first, you're last, right? I just want to go. I just want to go fast. Oh my gosh, this middle is athletic and quick. This is probably where I yell at Bridget. Is it? Wait, is this the game we? I don't know if this is the game I yell at her. It is, right? Yeah. I was talking about that same thing. You're saying that she needs to. I don't know if I can back it up to where it was. Low system resources. Look at this. Oh my god. Are you seeing this message I'm getting? I'm pretty disappointed with this laptop that I bought 2 years ago. It it said it was a really powerful machine, but it can't even handle a Zoom call. And oh, maybe if I put some AC power to it, it'll help boost its performance. I mean, sometimes that does the trick. Did we win this first set? Do you remember? Adam says speed kills. Yeah, you know it. Adam also said Steven's team was so much fun to watch. I remember that match. Yeah, this was a fun group for sure. I Man, when you guys made that run at Spokane, is where you guys qualified, made it all the way to the finals. Like, I don't think I even got to watch any of those matches. Oh man, yeah. My team, Adam and I, we had our own problems, but Steven's team was doing really, really well, and and then what did I say? I was like, "What? You bad that your 16's team qualified? Come on." 28-27. Looks like we're leading. I feel like I don't know. This just seems like the kind of middle, right? The middle had been going off here, so I'm sure. Um, and our blocker, right, like was not positioning herself correctly. I'm sure this is where I yell at Bridget. Who knows? Oh, you're right. She's not. So we're up 28-27. Maybe this is not the match. Is Bridget in front row? She is. Oh, right there. Come on. I just told her right there. This is where oh no, this is gonna be embarrassing. Okay, she got it. And a tool kill. Look at it. Fire it up. Let's go. Let's go. Maybe I yelled at her earlier. That is true. Steven was saying that, you know, with Bridget coaching her, you only have to tell her one time and she'll adjust or she'll remember. I think that's true. Let's fast forward. Okay, looks like we just sided out, maybe? Was so happy. Oh, look at the emojis in the chat. Adam, nice. I love it. Um Okay, so we won the first game. It looks like what, 29-27. And that's, man, I'll tell you, that's how close a lot of these games were, you know. So most of the people watching probably doesn't remember much about how this team did. But for the first time ever making it into an open division, you know, while we didn't have a winning record overall, like these matches were 2-point games, 3-point matches. And if we didn't win, we usually went 3. I'm saying we, like, you guys usually went 3. I think I remember it was like 5 or 6, 5 matches for sure. I could look it up again, but 5 matches. I think you guys went 3. Yeah, Adam says different match, so maybe it was a different match. It was probably that Austin Juniors match, honestly. A nice move there. Yep. Oh, look at that. I was just looking at Adam. Yeah, just like that. Oh. Yeah, pretty athletic. Not bad. I'm still over here upset about the fact that I can't get your audio to come through. It doesn't make any sense. Like the video's going through. You and I are talking through Zoom call through the same HDMI cable. It's going into this little machine here that then connects to my laptop by USB. I don't get it. And I guess I could try to add one more audio device again. Maybe it's in a mixer set. What about now? Just don't get it. We're monitoring. Did I? Oh, I wasn't looking. Let me watch. Oh, look how quick he is. Adam, you're so fast. Oh, tag. We had to tag team. At this point in the tournament, I'm like, dang it, Bridget, you're gonna get this blocking thing right, okay? I know. She probably just whispered that to Peyton right there, like, Mike's going crazy again. He told me something about blocking, and I don't know what he was talking about. She's on task, man. Yeah, I mean, she's got it. Oh, good play. No, she is. I'm on it. I'm like, you go tell that ref that all three of us coaches need to be able to stand. We're just like, he said no. He said no for the third time. Oh my goodness. That was a middle too. I mean, middles that serve, they do have wicked arms. Hmm. More deceptive with a. Do I think a middle serving with their faster arm swing makes it more deceptive? Um, yeah, yeah, I think it's possible. I there's no doubt that they're a little quirky, right? Like, I mean, come on, we've all seen middles try to pepper in warm ups, right? Like, they just know how to. They're conditioned to hit hard and fast, right? So serving and peppering, like, we were talking about Haley earlier. She just knows one speed, just wants to go fast. So I think because it's different in that way, um, yeah, it could probably be hard to pass just because you're not seeing the same exact like tells or giveaways. Yeah. I don't recall what that big delay was. Uh, this this game just seems so confusing. Hey, by the way, how many of these players on the floor do you think know the rotations? I will admit, when I played, I didn't know the rotations. Adam knew them. I did not. But yeah, I mean, but they only they know where to stand if they're like going in circles, right? But if you were to tell them, everybody go to row 4 and then go to row, uh, 2, like, there would be some confusion. Well, it's good that you guys practiced. Steven was just saying that they had problem rotations, and as every team does. So in practice, they would just skip around and focus and jump to the rotations that needed the most work, which helped them become a little bit more familiar with where they're all supposed to be in each rotation. When I played, and I have a feeling that a lot of players do this, when I played, I knew it was like, okay, my first two rotations in there, I stand here in serve receive and I stand here in serve receive twice. So it was like, okay, after that, I was like, is it my turn to come out now? Or am I going front row now? Like, what's happening? And then Adam would just grab me by the shoulder and kind of like push and move me around the court. And I was like, okay, I'll stand here, no problem. Air, look at that. Still trying to figure out the sound. I'm gonna get it, you guys. Not giving up. Gotta be it, dude. Steven, say something.
I'm saying something.
I'm sure there's nobody left here in the chat, but I think we have sound, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, really? Cool.
Let me just do a sound check with this. I'm seeing sound.
Sweet.
You can hear it. Nice. Kate, can you hear Steven? Steven, go ahead.
Okay. Testing. Can you hear me?
We got it. Okay. All right. Bartamy says sound check. Yes. All right. Steven, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
I can boost Steven's audio louder or softer, so you guys just let me know. Fantastic. Okay.
Michaela's going beast mode right now.
Mac just does go beast mode too.
Yeah, she does.
You remember the we were in Houston, Texas, and we had her hit a one rotation, hit a high ball. I mean, we were getting killed, right? Our team was exhausted. It was like the last match of the day, and we just were trying anything we could to side out a ball. And Steven, if you remember what happened when she went up to hit it.
Yeah. I think she cleared the court behind us and halfway up the stadium on the other side of that court on the fly.
Yeah, in the convention center in Texas, those of you that have been there, it's like 2 levels. So as you get into the great effort. As you get into the higher numbered courts, it was on like this. You had to walk up like a flight of stairs to get to it. Anyway, we're playing on the last court closest to those stairs, and the stairs are probably a good 65 feet away from the net, right? Like 30 feet to the end line, and then another 30 feet, I think, to those stairs.
I agree.
And Mac hit the ball so hard, she just missed the block, high hands for the tool, and it like, did it hit the stairs or did it actually go into the upper level?
It went into the upper level because it bounced off the stairs halfway up.
It bounced off the stairs and went halfway up. Oh my gosh, she was not happy about that.
No, I think to my memory, when we sat down because that was to go to a third or something like that, because we wiped them out in the first set, then we lost the second set just ginormously, and we went to the third and we're sitting back on our own bench. She just goes, I wanted to get out of it. I just wanted to get out of it.
Yeah, I remember that now. It's like at that point it was like, I'm getting this kill or I'm getting this over.
Yeah, for sure. It was really funny.
Cool.
God, I remember there's just so much. What I like about volleyball is I'm just seeing right there is just there's so much information that gets thrown around all the time, and yet there's still all this allowance to be an amazing athlete at the same time. Like, you know what I mean? We've got blocking calls, we've got defensive rotations, we've got serve receive strategy, we've got all this sort of stuff, and then at the end of the day, it's still just be as athletic as you can and go be awesome.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point, and I think that's why playing volleyball is so fun, but watching volleyball too is really fun. Knowing the score obviously helps, so I apologize that we don't have a scoreboard here, but you know, with all the things that we do as coaches to scout and to learn our opponent tendencies and come up with this game plan, you can really only control and plan for like the first contact, the first attack coming your way, maybe a free ball type thing, but usually not. Like once you get into a rally, it is all about the athlete, their athleticism, what they're seeing, you know, their decision making. So it's certainly hard as a coach, right? Because you want to like help impact the game, but then when you really understand you can only maybe influence a handful of points as a coach, you know, then it becomes really cool to know that like you're winning because of your players. You're winning because of the good job that they're doing.
Yep. It looks like we have a little comeback run right here, just because we are. They took that timeout. I think we won 2 or 3 points before that. So obviously we lose this set, but that's whatever.
Yeah, but you tell us about, we were talking about that last week, but if you don't mind telling us that again. It was kind of like your thoughts as you reflected back on this team and this year, with it being like their first time at this level of competition. You said that they were like kind of always waiting or playing catch up, or how did you put it?
I actually forget. I know the scenario you're talking about, but we were always seeming to have to make adjustments to the game intensity, because as you were saying that we were copycatting what was happening on the other side of the net and then trying to match it rather than setting the tone or setting that sort of pace of play. There you go.
We should have just done that the whole time, right?
Yeah,
like, I mean, forget about waiting for them to make the first move.
Yeah, volleyball's easy when you can hit it 2 like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool with you know, a relatively, to me, right, it's a young team in that when I say young, I just mean like the amount of experience on the other side of the net is they just have so much more, you know, from sheer number of matches that they play, the level of competition that they see, not just in club, but high school, right? I mean, I lived and worked in Southern California for 3 years. Man, that's a great swing.
Oh my goodness!
But everybody does that, right? So our gold divisions here in SIVA are like 8 teams per division, right? It might be 12 now, but it's 8 teams are in gold. 4 teams from Oregon make it to platinum. In Southern California, where this opponent is from, Sunshine Volleyball Club, in their gold division, there's 16 teams.
Yeah.
Like, and they're all good. Right.
Yeah,
so when you're in that that bottom 4, you're legit. You're a good, you know, and
yeah, you're a contender.
So I guess you could say they're well, no, I was going to say that Southern California is twice as deep as in terms of depth of competition, but no, it's more than that, because that's that is okay. Their gold division 1 has 16 teams. Their gold division 2 has 16 teams.
Sure.
Okay. So
yeah, it's kind of like the Tour of Texas. I always tell the story about the Tour of Texas as well, and how just unreal the depth is out there.
Yeah. It's something else. I think we'll get there. I don't know how much you and I have talked about this. Maybe not at all, but in Arizona, they do this open division, and I'm obsessed with it, because if you have a 14s or 15s team and you're like, hey, we know we're legit, right? This is an above average team for this age group in this region. You're allowed to put that team in the open division, right? So they'd be able to, that 14s, 15s team would be able to every weekend play against the top teams in all of Arizona. So the top 18s, the top 17s, whatever age group, if you're legit, you can sign up for that open division. I want that here in Oregon, but the reason why we can't do it is because they say if you don't play in Power League in your age group, then you shouldn't be allowed to play in the bid tournament, right? Because how would we know how to rank you and place you in that tournament? You know, so I get it, but it's also quite frustrating to me as a coach that's thinking about like long-term player and athletic development. I'm thinking this team needs to be pushed and challenged more, and not just that, but if we allow them to play up, they'll probably then go to these national qualifiers where they play in their age group division, and then they would do really well. Is kind of what I'm saying. And it's kind of this response. Arizona for a long time didn't have the same depth as Southern California. Not many regions do. Ohio region, Florida region, and Texas region, maybe. So their solution was to make the open division. And I went back and I looked at 10 years, the past 10 years. And what we see is 5 years after they started the open division, Arizona went from qualifying one 18s team in open to 4 or 5 teams in 18 open. Okay, and so why is that? Part of it is because their region grew. New athletes were coming to the sport. So okay, maybe that doesn't have to do with the open division. But then the other part of it is those 15s and 16s that were playing against the 18s. By the time they were 18, my point earlier, they had more experience than their peers.
Yeah, and talking about experience, we were talking about the 16s team specifically, and this one with their lack of open nationals experience. The kids across the court could have been 12 open, 13 open, 14 open, 15 open, and I know that's what you're alluding to earlier, but I thought it just needed to be said also.
No, yeah, I think about it's kind of like with our forefront team, right? We'll take players and we'll play them up. I typically, wouldn't. Oh, that's great swing, nice play, pass, set, swing. Yeah, oh, wait, we won this. I knew that. Did you know that?
I thought we won in 3.
I thought so too. Did we beat them in 2? This is the only match that we won in 2.
The only match we played in 2 and we won.
When I went and looked back, I didn't realize this. We played Mintonet 16s at this national tournament. Mintonet won that won it, I think, this year at 16s, and then they finished second in 17s. But oh my goodness, look at that.
That's a guy that knows what he's about to say to a bunch of.
I'm doing better, you guys. I've been eating healthy, and Adam has been really helpful and on me, and his wife's been on me about eating healthy. So that was a terrible picture of me, but I don't feel too bad because I'm doing better. I'm eating healthy. Man, that was it. I'm so glad that we figured out this volume thing. Good. It's really odd, and just so you know kind of what was happening is on that old capture device that was overheating, this only requires one output, right? So that will get me picture and sound on the same sort of link. This newer version requires 2 separate feeds. So it has to have a separate audio feed coming in through the stream software and a separate video feed, which I didn't know. So I apologize that, but I appreciate everyone who hung with us and and hung around to watch the match. And even though that we were having technical difficulties, my computer crashed twice. So I think this device is probably I don't know, it's probably trash by now,
Cool side story. There's an athlete on this NCVC team that you can see right in front of us.
What NCVC team?
The team in white that's on the screen.
Wait, I don't have anything on my screen.
Oh, I do. I still have your mug right in front of the camera, on my screen.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. You just.
Kate says thank you. Kate, you're welcome. Thank you for hanging out. You guys are Steve and I will hang for a little bit. He's telling a story right now, but thank you very much. Now that I kind of know what's going on, next week's going to be. Well, I don't want to promise you that we won't have issues, but Steve and I have done this twice now, and we've certainly learned a lot through this process. So
test pilot part 3 next week.
Yeah, test pilot 3. Yeah. So sorry, Steven, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that the only reason I was telling it is because I could see the team. I don't know if anybody else can see them anymore, but there's one that's going to be a Beaver, so going to Oregon State. So it was kind of neat because she came to one of our open gyms before all the COVID stuff, and was like, I guess it's just a story of you never know who you run into sort of thing. And I was like, I recognize you. And she said, I know exactly who you are. We played you blah blah blah. It's
2018, no way.
Yeah, so it was really
That's
cool.
cool.
Like, oh wow, that's good. It was neat.
That's cool. Steven, I don't know if you're reading the chat on your end or not, but Barney popped in here and he says, by having an open division, would it encourage kids, coaches, and parents to have the kids stay at their age level? Oh, that's a good question. Stay at their age level and play up for better competition versus players playing up an age division on an older team. I think it would. Barney, I think that is a fantastic point. I think that if we allowed the option to have an open division, then yes, we wouldn't have to take the, I'm going to say that the better players and have them play up an age group, right? Like, so Steven's year, for example, and I think, Barney, this is what you're getting at, but Steven's year coaching 16s in 2018, we had 3, right? 2 or 3 of your 16s were playing on our 18s team.
Yeah.
And they were legit, right? So it's Ryan, who were Ryan, Izzy, and then Ellie? And Jade? No, Jade was probably...
Jade was 17s playing for you. Ellie was
they were class. Okay.
Yeah, 2. Yeah, so 2 kids. Yeah.
So 2 kids.
Yeah.
And, wait, Taylor?
No, she wasn't with NPJ that year.
She graduated early. She wasn't. Okay, so 2 of them at least. So an outside, and
the fact that we have to keep thinking of who they are is a testament to them playing up, right?
Man, if you had those players, even if you ran a 6-2 with that team, it would be like every rotation, you guys would be a huge offensive threat. But the point is, what Barney was getting at, exactly, he said, yeah. So they could have stayed at that age group, and to imagine, Steven, imagine if you had that 16s team, they were stacked, and then you were playing in the open division against all of us 18s, right? You guys probably would have been in 18 platinum, but again, that wouldn't be a thing. We'd be in this open division. And I don't know how much you guys would have won, but when you go to the qualifiers, when you go to JOs, when you go to these Triple Crown, then when you play back against your peers at 16s, the game would seem slower, the less, all that good stuff. Yeah, Barney, your
touches get better. Everything gets honed quicker because of the ball speed. As Terry was my first example, was just ball speed.
Yeah, it's so the Arizona region. I think they're so smart for having come up with that. And what you see in other regions, I'll use Southern California as an example, and Northern California. They did it. This was 10 years ago, before they broke off and did something new. But they didn't have an open division, right? So you would just take that 1/16s team, and let's just continue to use your team as an example. You would take that team and put them in the 18s division, and they would be stuck there, right? But now it's a big commitment because you cannot qualify through our region based on 16s division points because you won't have any. You can't play in the bid tournament. So you're kind of, it's risk reward. You're kind of like thinking, I believe this team's going to qualify. By having them play in the 18s division, they're going to be even more prepared. And so, if you don't qualify, there's nothing you can do, right? Your region can't help you out. So that's certainly a problem, and that's not something that I've really hashed out and thought about, like, okay, what's the solution here? My thing's kind of like, well, we all know if a team's legit, right? So your team plays in 18s, and then say you guys wanted to play in the bid tournament, you'd be like, okay, it seems like a no-brainer. You guys should be the number one seed, you know, but you
Mhm.
wouldn't have points, and I get like out of fairness. But I again, I haven't spent much time thinking about it because I'm just kind of like, they're the best team. They're going to play up. If they had to play in the bid tournament, they would still be the best team. So
Yes.
they would just default to number one. Like,
Yeah, it's tough
I
to
don't.
get that preferential treatment though when your region is about that equality and equity in players and teams, stuff like that. So you just got to balance. You got to balance the rules. You got to balance how the social perspective of it is going to be also, and um, yeah, sometimes it's best for these 12 kids, but maybe not best for the region. I don't know the answer and how to balance that idea either. So
I know that our region does friendlies, um,
yeah.
right? And I'm wondering, and I've thought about this before, is like maybe we could just do like a rotating open division. So think about like the Tour of Texas, right? So they play in
Mhm.
San Antonio, Dallas,
Austin.
Houston, Austin. Yeah. So they play in three different locations. Um, Maybe we keep our, we keep our power league structure the way it is, but then we just make sure everyone signs up for the rotating sort of tour of Oregon or open whatever. It's tough because there's limited number of weekends that you can play, I guess. But
Yeah, and then it's got to be invite only. And how do you? Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's potential there because I mean, especially like even this season, right? Like if tournaments like the Crown getting postponed, if tournaments like that gets postponed, and then we're able to do these things locally or within like our sort of um, northwest region, maybe we have a rotating um, tour of NW.
Yeah, for sure.
Who knows?
TNW.
TNW, yeah. Um, and we'll see.
We have another location now where we could just do a tour of NPJ.
Yeah, right. I know.
Yeah.
Well, that was good. We figured it out. At least now I know that this will work, right? If I turn it on again, it should work. Um, so next week, we got. Let's see here. What's Barney saying? Understand legit players playing up, but man, when you have 5 or 6 legit players at an age, yeah, yeah. I already know where you're going with this. It would be nice to keep them together and playing up, preparing them for a
Yeah,
bid
yeah, but there's
tournament.
nothing to say that those 5 or 6 or even 8, whatever legit 16s players can't play in 18s friendship tournaments to get used to that ball speed as well. The thing for
Yeah,
us is our 18 forefront team doesn't have any weekends to be able to just play a random friendship tournament. You guys are either qualifying or you're playing Power League or you're, you know, something
that
specific.
you're making me think of how like the national team, senior women's national team operates. Well, men's too. They send their A squad to all the big events, Olympic qualifiers, the $1 million prize pool tournaments. For the other tournaments that you have to continue to play in, I'm talking about like the Pan Am Games, Pan Am Cup, Norseca, like these smaller, what would be the equivalent of local tournaments. Um, they send younger players. They send their B, C, and D squads, right? The players that probably are going to do really well in a few years, but aren't there yet, but needs the experience. And then also they'll play and represent the junior national team and the youth national team. So uh, Italy does that. So Italy, they'll take their U18s players. The top players will go for months at a time and play on the U21 team. They'll play in the National World Championship U21. And then when the U18 tournament comes around, they'll bring them back and put them on that squad. Now,
then when they go to the Olympics, they just stack it with the best players they have.
I didn't want to do that, with your team, right? It had come up like, hey, since our 18s didn't qualify, can we have, Izzy and Ryan play with you guys? And I actually recall a bunch of us discussing it, and at the end of the day, it was kind of like, well, we know that what would happen if we did that, that team would get a shot in the arm and do really, really well. But we didn't think it would be fair to the team and the players who were there on the original squad putting in the work.
Yeah, I remember the exact phrase, which was, these players earned the right to play open, so they're going to play open.
Yeah. They did the work.
Exactly.
I would hate to replace them with these two other players that that didn't go through the sacrifice and the commitment and the ups and the down, like all of that stuff. So
not me, Barney, but thanks, man, that was awesome.
Yeah. Steven, thank you so much for your time and for hanging out and helping work through that and playing along until I was able to figure out what the heck I was doing on this end. Barney, thanks for hanging out with us. Adam, everyone else, Kate, whoever's still here in the stream, thank you guys. Next week, I don't know. I don't know if I can convince Steven to come back on the show. Maybe he'll go for that. He's a busy guy though, so I don't know. I'm just gonna plant that seed now. But we'll probably, if we can, we'll either you guys let us know if you want to see more NPJ matches. We have international matches, some NCAA matches that we can pick from. So I don't know. We'll decide that later. But
some New Zealand national team stuff that you could look through.
Hey, there we go. Yeah, I know. You just type in Steven Stone into YouTube and you can find him lighting people up. You guys should randomly dance for more followers.
Funny. Yeah, there it is.
Okay, so I got to figure out what we're going to watch next week, and I got to work on my dance moves. Got it. Thanks, Barney. I appreciate that. All right, well,
you know that I'll come back anytime.
Cool.
I'm getting more comfortable with being on a stream, so that's good.
Cool. Yeah. Well, just do what I do. It's like talking to yourself, which I do all day anyways. Thanks for hanging out with me, Steven, and thanks so much everybody for being with us and being patient with us. We will well, that's it. So we'll see you guys next week, Monday.
Yep, really soon.
Alrighty. Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye, Steven.
See you, buddy.
Cool.